Hello, Jordan.
What's going on, Michael?
What a great weekend in Dallas.
Dude, that was one for the record books. I appreciate you coming out. That was super fun.
Really
Did
fun.
a lot of planning for the mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
We got a whole new schedule and plan ready to go. But yeah, that was great.
Dialed, locked and loaded. The most fun part was getting to hang out with your child. I must say.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah.
Got some good pictures of you with her.
Yeah,
That was a good time.
She's very fun.
She loves you, man.
Old age.
She got super excited whenever you would come in the apartment. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was a really good time. I also quit 3 things. I tried 3 things on this trip and quit all 3.
Okay, so you want to go through them?
You can guess.
No, I know.
Do you?
You quit jujitsu. You came to a jujitsu class with me, and then you were like, "All right, well, that was the last one of those I'll ever do."
You're starting in the wrong order because what did I say?
Well, no, I didn't know we were doing it in order.
Okay, but I wouldn't even call it quitting. I will do jujitsu before I do those other 2 things.
You will do jujitsu before you do the nicotine pouches, the Zimbabwe's,
Bro.
the little Zin.
A couple episodes ago, we talked about stimulants, and I said, like, I've had a Nicorette gum 3 to 5 times in my life, and I think I've had 1 or 2 Zins. This was the 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm done forever, and I want to make a stronger anti-drug claim here on the podcast because I don't think it came through well enough at all last time. You and I, before one of our planning sessions, like, oh, we got this 3 milligrams in. It's like, yeah, let's, why not, right? Get the juices flowing, get the CNS stimulated, like get the mind really working. I'm telling you, you know this because you were right next to me, like continuing to do work. I was on the floor for hours.
Well, you should. The first 25 to 40 minutes, you were like zooming. You were like, "This is great.
Yeah,
this is it." You were like stomping around the office. You were like, "All right, let's go." Like your mental clarity. You were in the zone. You were coming up with ideas.
Yeah. Yes, it was a stimulant. It was doing its job. Body temperature was rising, like felt like a greater draw towards activity.
You were like fake punching me in the face. Mm-hmm. You doing that thing?
We're doing that. Yep, not real punching, just fake punching. Just throwing it out there. And getting on the walking pad, like moving. Sure, there was marginal benefit over real life, over like normal state. You know what? I would say above baseline, like it had me feeling more stimulated than baseline, nothing like pre-workout. Pre-workout just dials here and physically.
Really?
Like, yes.
Man, I'm the opposite.
Our neurochemistry is different, apparently. After this brief period of heightened productivity, I thought I was going to throw up. I felt like I had the worst hangover of my life. I thought I was going to have like headache up through here, like pounding. I was laying on the ground trying not to puke. Light, like sensitivity to light. I had to throw a sweatshirt over my eyes. You're writing an email for the Inner Circle sale. You're like getting things done. I'm laying next to you on the ground with a sweatshirt over my face, like taking deep breaths for an extended amount of time. So I never really got into it, but I'm officially done with nicotine of all kinds forever.
Wow. Okay, so no more nicotine. I don't know what the other one is.
Well, it was alcohol.
Oh.
Because I think somehow, yeah, that was part of it too. We had a couple drinks during the UFC fights, and then
oh yeah. I was wondering, when did we drink?
Felt like not great the next morning, and then the nicotine on top of it, like it was a real bad 1-2 combo.
How many drinks did you have during the UFC fights?
I had 2 drinks and about this much tequila.
Got it. Okay. All right, yeah. So you had like 2 of the Topo hard seltzers, a little bit of the Siempre tequila.
I'm just not cut out for the casual, like everyday substance. I have a buddy, I showed you the video. He got an Amazon order with like literally 20 Zyn things, not pouches, like 20.
Yeah, the nicotine pouches. Yeah.
And so I can't do it.
Well, you just use that pre-workout, bro.
I will continue to use that pre-workout.
You got beta-alanine in there. You got caffeine. You using those vasodilators.
Well, if it's an afternoon workout, I have like a pump product that I'll take mostly just for placebo. But I still put the beet juice in my pre-workout because it's tasty. I like the extra carbs and probably need them, and additional blood flow. Yeah. But yeah, then what else is in there? I think the alpha GPC probably has the most positive mental benefit, and then other standard pre-workout stuff. A little bit of L-citrulline in there. But nicotine, caffeine, I will roll 5 days a week for the rest of my life in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before I ever have one of those little pillow pouches near my mouth ever again.
And I know for a fact you will never, ever roll 5 days a week for the rest of your life doing jiu-jitsu.
That's good reverse psychology by you. I know how much you'd like it if I did that, so that's really well done.
Listen, you got to just do what you got to do.
You'll never squat and deadlift multiple times a week for the rest of your life.
100% I won't. Absolutely not. I hate squatting and deadlifting now, for me personally.
No, you might.
No, I won't. I'll never do it. Never say never. Depends. If one of my kids is like, hey, I want to do a powerlifting competition with you one day, like I'm not going to say no to that, and I'll design the programming. So there's a chance, but you know what I won't do is I will not go anywhere near the RPE level that I used to go in powerlifting. Like I used to be grinding through lifts like super heavy week after week. I'm like, man, I can't do that anymore, man.
What percent of that is related to your low back / injury potential in general? And what percent of that is related to other factors?
I think 98% of it is just, I don't have that dog in me anymore that I used to have for lifting. Now it's geared towards jiu-jitsu. I used to love grinding through lifts and I would be so hyped up going to the gym. I remember I used to finish workouts in the gym and I would be already looking forward to the next workout in the gym, and I'd just be like exhausted and like I gave it my all. Like I felt I was shaking from trying to lift so heavy. And then I couldn't wait for the next one. It's all I was thinking about for the next 48 hours is my next lift. And now it's just like, I lift because it's important, but I don't go anywhere near that level of intensity at this point anymore. I bring that level of intensity to my cardio and to my jiu-jitsu, but the having that dog in you for lift, I don't got that anymore.
It's still different just because of the energy system requirements.
Yes, yeah.
Taking jiu-jitsu to RP 10 or taking cardio, super high intensity in those is so different than high intensity, heavy strength training.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There's also the cognitive and full body exhaustion that comes as a result of that style of training that makes life and business and computer work and other things really difficult, which I think is under discussed.
Yeah, that's a good point. I as you were saying, I was like, man, this is a really good point. The mental fog that sometimes you'll get after a near max or maximal effort type lift in the gym that lasts for essentially the rest of the day. I just don't have the ability to do work and be productive and listen to my wife and pay attention to my daughter when I'm that fatigued from the lifting session. I think that's why some of the greatest lifters in the world, they're these young kids, these young men, young women who they're probably not they don't have really much else to do except lift. Just lift, and then fuel that lift and rest and recover from that lift. So yeah, it's that's an important thing to be aware of for your clients as well. You can't have you probably shouldn't have your 47-year-old client be trying to max out RP 10, their squat and deadlift on a pretty regular basis, unless they're like, hey, let's do this. But otherwise, there's really not much of a reason for it at all.
Yeah. Intensity and volume, making sure that you are paying close attention to, who is this client of mine? what are their goals, and do they need to be doing a 2-hour workout, or could they be doing a 1-hour workout? Do they really need to be doing, multiple sets of deadlifts near failure, or could we either pick a different exercise, or could we scale back the intensity, RPE 7 instead? Those are important things to remember for coaches.
How was your last jiu-jitsu session? You came to my jiu-jitsu academy, Alex Martin's Jiu-Jitsu. How'd it go?
It was great. And I don't even want to call it my last session, because it's the thing I'm most likely to do again of those 3 things. Look, I compare it to I just don't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, you just don't. It's not fun for you.
I think Alex is a really good professor and a really good guy based on our interactions, and I enjoyed learning from him. And it's beautiful. It's a nice facility, and it was fun doing it with you. And there's just few things in life that are as like I don't want to be doing this than laying there pinned under some dude and just sucks.
And but you did super well. I was very surprised at how coordinated you looked, how loose and relaxed you looked. Your breathing was super under control. It was very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, it's similar to you not enjoying heavy barbell lifting at this time in your life.
Especially heavy barbell hip thrusts. I couldn't, that's just something I just have no interest in doing. I'd imagine it's somewhat similar.
Yeah. When I say heavy, I mean, chasing 535 again.
Yeah. I just mean of which lift would I hate to do the most? I would rather chase 535 for my deadlift than do 315 barbell hip thrust once a week.
Makes sense. We know you hate hip thrusts. For some reason, I still haven't fully got to the bottom of this, but it's harder to load a hip thrust than it is to load a deadlift. I still haven't
No. It's equally difficult to load it. Okay. It's just, it's far less comfortable to put that load on your hips than it is to just lift it up, holding it in your hands. And it's just
the benches at your gym are higher than the average bench too, which makes it even more uncomfortable and difficult.
Yeah, I don't like the benches at my gym.
Yeah. Should we dive into some Q&A?
Oh, do you want me to cover, because I forget if it was on the podcast or in the mentorship, how I said I don't do a build up for a flash sale, and you were like, dude, why are you doing the build up for the sale? Do you want to talk about that or no?
Yeah, we definitely can. So it was in a Q&A, and someone, I think it was Chris Gates. We were talking about his timing of his next launch, and he's got a baby on the way. And so we were planning the timing and kind of how extensive the launch would be. And you mentioned a flash sale being an option. And I don't remember, someone asked I might have asked you if you build anticipation for something like that. And you said, no, a flash sale is just the day of. And I'm almost certain you had said you had one coming up, but you must have just meant a sale in general. But then I saw you building anticipation for your sale. I was like, oh, what's that about?
Yeah. So I'll start by saying, if you're well, what's the anticipation? I know everyone knows what anticipation means, but in relation to a launch specifically, in the mentorship we have many courses that are long, in-depth video courses around what you can do around your business, whether it's understanding search engine optimization, whether it's understanding how to structure a sale or a launch, whether it's understanding client systems and assessments, how to write programs for your clients. We have a lot of courses. In the sales course, we discuss, one of the things we discuss is how to structure a launch for your business, whether you're launching a product, whether you're launching your online coaching program, whatever it is. And one very important component of a launch sequence is anticipation. And in order to build anticipation, essentially for a big launch, and by a big launch, I mean it's not a 24-hour sale. I mean it's usually at least 5 to 12 days as you're going to be running this launch, trying to get people to buy for that duration of time. And there are many reasons why you would want to do that, but one of them is, on average, it takes about 12 exposures per individual for that person to decide, okay, I want to sign up for this whatever program you're running. And if you just do one launch and one email and one post, then they might literally only get one exposure. Whereas there's a very famous saying in marketing that the magic is in the follow-up. Continuing to follow up, continuing to remind them about it is an important way to get those exposures into where someone, hey, think about it. Like, let's say you send an email out or make an Instagram post about whatever it is you're launching, and you're like, all right, sign up. Well, people looking at the email or reading the Instagram post, maybe their kids are going crazy in the fucking background. Maybe they're like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this later. Then they just legitimately forget. Guarantee you do that all the time with certain tabs open. You'll forget about it. So a reminder is it, a lot of people, especially newer people to selling, think that it's annoying. It's actually a nice little nudge being like, hey, just in case you forgot, there's only this much time left and I'm still running this. It's still available. So the magic really is in the follow-up. But the anticipation phase, which we cover in depth in the video course, it is basically designed to, number one, let them know exactly when it's going to go live so they can put it in their calendar. But also in a more like trying to give you more of a visual, you want the person so excited and ready to buy whatever it is you're offering, that is, they know when you're going to launch it, they know when it's coming out, they know when it's going to be available. They don't even need to read your sales copy. Sales copy becomes far less important during the launch day and launch week when you build up a really good anticipation phase, because by the time that phase is there, they're ready. Like, cool, I'm sold, I'm ready to go. Imagine you're doing research on your own about, like, you want to buy a vacuum. And you're like, you know exactly what vacuum you want. You spent hours researching the vacuum. You know which one you want. And then you go in the store, and the person that, like, hey, I'm going to buy this vacuum. I know this is the one that I want. And the person just keeps trying to sell you on that vacuum. Well, you won't believe what it offers. It's like, no, motherfucker, I know what it has. I did the research myself. I just want to give you my credit card to buy it. Well, hold on. Let me tell you more about. Shut up. Let me just buy it. Sales copy becomes far less important if you do a really good anticipation phase. And so the question was, do you build an anticipation phase for a flash sale, something that might, hey, 24 hours and done, or not? Or do you only save the anticipation phase for the longer sales? I don't think there's a definitive right or wrong for this, but for me, usually, if I'm going to do a flash sale, 24 hours and done, I probably won't do an anticipation phase. I usually rely on just like the shock value of surprise. This is it right now. It gets the most out of striking while the iron is hot. Because if I say, hey, in a week, I'm going to have a flash sale. Well, now they have the time to think about it. They have the time to, maybe I don't want this. Am I really going to use it or not? But if you just say, hey, right now, this is your opportunity, 24 hours and done, this is it. Oftentimes they're like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to sign up. And that can be a good way to do it without the anticipation phase. Whereas if you're doing a big launch for 5 to 12 days, like a huge launch where you're selling over multiple days, having the anticipation phase, I think, becomes drastically more important, in which you really want to get them to build up the excitement so that they're essentially drooling and ready to buy from the moment that you launch it. So that is why I don't do an anticipation phase for a flash sale, but for a larger launch, I will absolutely do an anticipation phase.
What does this launch look like for you? The one you're in the middle of right now?
So that's a great question. I'll start by saying so it's an inner circle launch. It's for my inner circle membership. It's for my fitness program. But I've done this when I was doing one-on-one coaching, with group coaching. Like, this is, you could replicate it based on whatever it is you're selling. So if you're doing one-on-one coaching, you don't need a group membership in order to do this. It's the exact same thing. When I was doing one-on-one coaching, the main thing that I would talk about on social media or on my email list or on YouTube or podcast, whatever, was my one-on-one coaching program. That I would just, in terms of soft mentions, I would just, so I was talking to a one-on-one coaching client and this is what we were talking about, or I was talking to my online fat loss coaching client and this is an issue they were having. Now those mentions are relative to my inner circle. Hey, so I was talking to my inner circle members, blah, blah, blah. I was doing my inner circle live. One of the members had this question. Hey, an inner circle member lost 15 pounds over the last 3 months. Here's what they did, da, da, da. So the first and foremost thing is, before I even begin the launch or even the anticipation, I'm constantly referencing it, rarely selling it, but constantly referencing it so they know exactly what it is before I even start selling it. They know that it's my membership group. They know that there are workouts in there every month. They know that there's nutrition guidelines. They know that there are tons of manuals in there, so that by the time I decide to do a launch, it's like, I don't have to go through as much of an education phase. It's more of just I don't have to tell them as many facts about it. I can just go in on the benefits of it. And so as of right now, I'm talking about it everywhere. I've sent an email. I've done an Instagram post. I did an entire Q&A on my Instagram story where I would answer people's questions about it and also share some testimonials from current members, which I think turned out to be very, very helpful. So today, I'm not going to post anything about it anywhere because I know there are a lot of people still seeing my Instagram posts from yesterday. There are people seeing my email from the day before. They're still trickling in. So I sort of like to give people a little bit of time just to catch up. And then tomorrow, I will send another email out, just a quick reminder. I'll probably do a little FAQ, frequently asked questions in that email, who it's good for, who it's not. And then I'll continue to share about it on my stories, but it's not going to be all my stories are made up of. I'll do Q&As, I'll share my normal stuff, but I'll just slip in random reminders. By the way, 30% off if you join for this sale, da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to do another feed post on my Instagram just because it's like, I don't like to bombard my audience with it anymore. If I didn't have as much of my business wasn't where it was right now, I probably would do another feed post in a couple of days. But for right now, like I could stop the sale right now and I'd be happy with how it did, even though I'm about 48 hours in. Like I don't need more, but I will continue it just for the sake of it. So I'm mentioning it on my stories, going to write probably over the course of the next week, another 2 to 4 more emails about it. I think the most important emails are really the 24 hours left, like within the last 24 to 36 hours. I'll send out an email. If you're on my email list, you'll see it. It'll say like 36 hours left, 24 hours left, 12 hours left. Those I think are the most important ones. Those get generally the biggest response. That's when people are like, all right, there's only this amount of time left. Do I really want to miss out again? Because it's funny, I'm going through my DMs and I can see people who are DMing me about it. They've DM'd me about it before when I've done previous sales. And in those previous messages, they've been like, hey, I can't do it this time. I'm going to get it next time. I promise. And they keep doing that over and over and over again. So those people do exist. The cool part is to see those messages where someone said the last time, hey, I'm going to join. And then they're like, hey, I just did it. I saved enough money. Thank you for letting me know. That's another benefit of the anticipation phase. They can set aside money for when they know it's going to happen. If you can tell them 2 weeks in advance, hey, I'm going to be doing this sale, a lot of people, like, they don't have that money lying around, even though it's not outrageously expensive. It's like, hey, they might not have that money laying around. Who knows what's going on? So they could save up for it in those couple of weeks so they have it ready and available. So yeah, that's pretty much what the rest of the sale is going to look like.
Cool. Good overview. I think that's really helpful for people. I think it's also important for everyone to know that your business success doesn't hinge on these like couple sales a year. It hinges on the 10 plus years of free content that you've made and layered in there. First, it was all you mentioned soft mentions about coaching and soft mentions about the inner circle, leading to people continuing to trickle in throughout the year, in addition to the couple of launches that you do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's a really good point that I sort of want to hammer on. It's like my launches thank God they do well, not because the sales copy is unbelievable, which I think it is very good, but it's not because of that. It's not because of sales copy. It's not because of a certain strategy. It's because I give so much free content when I'm not selling. It's like I'm unbelievably consistent posting helpful content, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube or my podcast or whatever it is. I'm constantly giving free information away with slight mentions of what my offer is. So after 6 months, 7 months, 8 months of no sales, no launches, when I finally do it, people are like, yep, that's it. Like, I want to join.
Yep. Okay, this is from Imee, IMEE. Hi, great video in not having to chase if you focus on what you are passionate about and interested in. But I can't figure out, how would you find the audience to watch, read, listen to my message? Doesn't whatever gets put out kind of just only reach the audience you already have? It doesn't really go further than that. She follows up by saying, I'm a stressed and anxious person desiring to be an online nutrition plus trainer. But I'm terrible at marketing, selling, talking and being inauthentic. And then she follows up and said, I truly would love having guidance on the marketing or selling side of things, probably one of my weaknesses. And one of the reasons I really like this question, because you just did a really good job at giving like a high level overview of launch structure, is I've never done a launch. I'm terrible at selling, and I don't like hard selling. I'm not comfortable with it, and somehow was able to build a business without ever hard selling. So, I mean, my advice to you would be, you don't have to hard sell, and it might take longer to build your business to where you want it to be, right? As we've seen with everyone in the mentorship, generally speaking, in that first 1, 2, 3 year window, having launches on some kind of, maybe twice a year, maybe 3 times a year over that 2, 3 year window is going to lead to more total business and more clients than not having launches. But you don't need to launch to build your business. And that's where we talk about soft selling, or we talk about, soft mentions of whatever service you're offering, is a way of notifying everyone of something that you offer without making it a giant right hook, without making it a real like direct ask for buy my service. And as long as you're okay with slow and steady growth, you don't need to hard sell ever to grow a business.
Yeah, that's a super good point. You really don't need to. And like you said, like it might be a slower growth, especially earlier on, but I think it will often be more sustainable. And the other aspect of this is I gave a pretty decent overview. We go much more in detail in the mentorship. If you want to sign up for the mentorship, link is in the show notes. But I gave a decent overview of a general launch structure, but you can't really overlook how much goodwill you've built up just by giving away great free content. And if you want to do a launch, you could literally just say like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to put it on sale for 10, 20, 30% off if you sign up, or the next week. And that's all you have to say. You don't need any of the other stuff. You could literally just do a sale and make that your launch. And you don't have to say anything special. You don't have to have fancy sales copy. All you have to do is be like, listen, if you've been following me for a while and you like my stuff, this might be a good fit for you. So for the next week, I'm going to put it on sale for 20% off. If you want to join, cool. If not, great. Period. End of story. Link in my bio. And that's it. And that could be your launch.
Doesn't have to be super complicated.
Correct. It does not have to be super complicated at all. I don't think it should be. There was something that it's Emmy, right? Emmy said this. Did Emmy say, I'm bad at being inauthentic? Was that written there?
But is terrible at marketing / selling / talking and not being unauthentic.
Got it. Okay. So here's the thing. I think that stemmed from Emmy saying, how are you supposed to reach more people? Because you're just essentially putting stuff out to your audience, right?
Yes. So that was kind of the first part of the question.
So it seems to me like there's a misconception that you have to be someone else in order to reach new people, right? Like you have to pretend to be someone different. You have to put on a whole fucking face or like speak in a certain way. It could not be further from the truth. So this begs the question, how do you reach new people? How do you reach new people with social media? How do you get new people to see your shit? There are many different ways. There are many different ways and many different subsets of each way, but I'm going to say there are 2 general ways right now, like 2 overarching. Number 1 is through paid advertising, which you do not need to do. And the other is through organically getting more people to see your stuff. Cool. So let's go into the organic method. How do you organically get people to see your stuff? Well, number 1 is, I think the most overlooked way is just getting people who already follow you to share what you're posting. Because if someone who already follows you shares what you posted, any one of their followers who sees it is essentially getting a referral to you. That's what that means. And I personally am not the biggest fan of saying, hey, please share this. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Ironically, recently I just did that on a post. I'm actually going to read this caption to you. I'm going to read this caption, and this is going to be like legitimately the most authentic thing you've heard in this caption. So I shared a post. I thought this was a genius post. So basically, because I have a baby and I see so much baby content, my Explore feed is filled with baby content. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing this little clip right now. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening on the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review with a written review on the podcast because we'd appreciate it. But if you want to watch us and see our faces, definitely look on YouTube. Anyway, you can see this kid moving all over his parents. His parents are trying to sleep. He's moving all over the place. And I made a video being like, if you're ever wondering why you used to be able to eat so much and not gain weight, but now you eat the same amount and you are gaining weight, well, this is one reason why. When you're younger, you're moving a lot more. I'm going to read you my caption. It's a very brief caption. And I just wrote, if you've ever wondered why you used to be able to eat whatever you wanted without gaining weight, but now you so much as look at a carb and gain 20 pounds, watch this whole video, don't skip around. And then I wrote, leave a comment telling me how much you loved it. I'm needy. Share it on your story and tell your friends and family they need to follow me because I'm a short, funny, bald guy who tells it like it is. Thank you. So I rarely ask people to share my work or to leave a comment because I think it's obnoxious when they do. But when I do it, I'm also very honest about it. Like the reason you're asking someone to leave a comment is not because you're like, oh, I'm so interested in what you have to say. You're asking them to leave a comment because you want more engagement, right? So when I said leave a comment telling me how much you loved it, like that's really, I'm saying I'm needy. Like, please, like do this for me. I'm needy. And then also share it on your story. And when you ask people to share it on your story, you're not just saying like, hey, just share this like without any, like you're saying share it on your story so that you can tell people how great I am and how much you love following me because you want then their followers to follow you as well. So I made a joke about it, but I literally said exactly the reason why I wanted them to share it and why I wanted them to comment, which I think is just the pinnacle of, it's like you're being yourself. You're just being truthful with them. Listen, I could have just been like, hey, listen, if you could leave a comment, it's really going to help my business. And if you could share this, that would also help my business. I could have said that. I tried to use humor as a way to break the ice a little bit, but I was still very upfront and honest about it. So I think the best way to organically get more people to see your content is to get people to share it. And one way to get people to share it is to ask like I did, but you can only do that so many times because it's going to lose its uniqueness very quickly if you just do that every single time. So the other great way to get people to share your content is just to make really good content. And I know it's very annoying to hear that, but it would sort of be like, I think a lot of coaches approach making content like people who go to the gym consistently but don't really put in effort struggle to get results. You know, there's some people who go to the gym. Maybe it's a client. Maybe it's just someone you see at the gym. They run through the motions, but really they're just talking to people the whole time. They're talking, they're starting up conversations, and that's amazing. They're having a wonderful time. It's a great part of their day. It's a good community. But if that person was also complaining that they're not getting stronger and complaining that they're not losing weight and complaining that their cardio isn't improving and all this, you'd be like, well, listen, you're chatting for 54 minutes and you're actually working out for 6. So like, of course you're not actually getting results. I think that's how a lot of coaches approach their social media. With their social media, they're really not putting in as much effort as they think they are. Yeah, they're taking the time to post, they're making a shitty tweet post or whatever it is, or maybe you're sort of essentially plagiarizing someone else's shit and you're going to try and put it under your own name, but you're not really spending time making it great content. And I think the platforms don't lie. If it's really good content, the platform knows it's really good content because people are watching it, people are consuming it. And so if your shit isn't being shared, odds are it's just not good content, and you need to do it really consistently and make great content.
Yeah. And two things here. One, when Jordan says really good content, what he means is content that resonates well with your audience and a potential audience. There was a big controversy in the poker world recently, and I was listening to this Twitter Spaces, and one of the guys is a content creator, and they were talking about like, is good content like something that like from an artistic perspective that you feel like is an honest expression of who you are and what you are, like, because that's where one guy was coming from in terms of definition of good content. But the guy who's kind of under fire is like, this is a business. Like, I make content for my business. So I measure good based on views, based on reach, based on watch time, based on engagement, like based on how people react to it. Like this content is an arm of the business. So when Jordan says good, how it's received is the metric of good versus bad. And two, another reason to make really good content is not only because people will want to share it even without being asked, but these apps are going to prioritize it for new audience. So if you make something really good that people are hammering the like button, people are watching entire videos, people are sharing it a ton, not only will it pop up for the people who it's being shared to directly, right? I post something, Jordan puts it on his story because he thought it was so good, and then people who follow Jordan see it. Sure, that's one method, but also Instagram's prioritizing it, putting it in front of people who don't currently follow you. And that was Explore, and now it's like within the main feed as well. So taking a lot of shots, right? You're not going to score goals if you don't take shots. Putting a lot of pucks on net, and then becoming better at shooting through that process are ways, Emmy, that you're going to reach new audience with your content.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like, imagine if you have a client who is doing the 54 minutes of talking horse shit, and then 6 minutes of...
I think 54 minutes of watching CNN in the gym and 6 minutes of like some like kind of lifting, but keep going.
Yeah. And they're never really like, they're RPE 4 when they're lifting, and just like never really going hard. Then all of a sudden they start going to the gym 7 days a week for a month, 7 days a week, and they're working hard the entire time.
Turn the TV off, have music in.
TV off, headphones in, just working super hard. They're not going to see insane results in that month, right? Even though they're going every day, their nutritionist diet, like, it's not going to be like, oh my God, you're a new person. If you go hard posting 3 times a day, every day for a month, and you only gain 4 followers, or maybe you lose 7 followers, that doesn't mean anything wrong. It's like, yeah, you've got to make good content, not once, not twice, not 30 times, not 90 times, 1,000 times, over and over and over again, consistently, 2,000 times, 3,000 times. So you might be doing a great job. It's just you haven't done it consistently enough yet. So there's nothing that infuriates me more than a coach who's like, I'm not growing. And I'll be like, oh, how long have you been posting? A month. Okay. Good luck. Right? It's like, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. You got to keep posting over and over and over again, very consistently.
What is a timeline that you would allow a coach to judge him or herself on? If 1 month is not an appropriate timeline, what is?
A year. I would say 1 year of consistent posting, an average of 7 posts a week. And they've got to be great posts. Like, not, if you're spending 15, 20, 30 minutes on your post, there's no way they're great posts consistently. It's just they take a much longer time than that. Usually my caption will take me 30 minutes, never mind the actual post. So it's a long process, and it's very difficult.
That's been one of the fun parts in the mentorship about the one-on-one private consult calls with challenge winners, where we're deep diving on individual pieces of content and giving feedback, and then seeing that switch. The way you just mentioned, like even like mediocre posts, 7x a week mediocre posts, we'd rather see 3 really good posts a week than 7 mediocre posts a week.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And if you don't have time to make 3 really good posts a week, you've got some time management issues.
Yeah.
Stop watching Lost.
Stop watching whole seasons of House of Cards. Dude, I was thinking about that in the gym today. That was such a good era of, like, you know, I think we've hit on this 3 to 5 times on this podcast, how the like anti-hustle culture movement is so soft and whiny. But yeah, those like some of Gary's like one-liners between 2013 and 2017 were really good.
Classic.
Yeah.
Stop watching fucking Lost.
Well, and then he clarified it. If you're a complainer, which is true, like,
yes, which is true, exactly.
And it really resonates with people who are generally like young, hungry, and not even young in age, but young in the stages of their business and like wanting to do whatever it takes to succeed, that mindset really resonates. Like now, I like watching seasons of shows, but then, absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't have a TV from like 18 to 29.
Yeah.
Just not watching anything. It was just work. And now, like every night, my wife and I are watching Ted Lasso right now. Great show. We always watch something at this point.
Yeah.
Watch TV, have a glass of wine, but that's it. Like it's, I think the clarification is if you're complaining about not growing, but then you're spending time watching TV, stop watching fucking TV.
Yeah.
Dude, how are you liking your full body lifting?
Oh man. If we tell the podcast, I'm going to have to quit. I'm going to have to quit and move to a different split.
Different program. Body part split.
I'm going to have to go to, yeah. It's going good. It's really hard. Like compound moves, 7-8 exercises a day, hitting full body 3 days a week with like reasonable RPEs. It's exhausting. Like earlier in the episode, we talked about it being difficult to work or to, brain fog was the term that you used after really intense strength training sessions. And that's absolutely the case. There was a morning during my first week of, random full body program where I ate a big breakfast because I was like, I'm going to need it with this level of volume and intensity, and then trained for nearly 2 hours. And then I don't remember if it was a Q&A or a podcast that we did, but I was dead. And so since then, what I've been doing, and this is a ridiculous schedule, like I can't believe that I'm doing this, but I'm doing the first 2 movements. So like the 2 big moves in the morning, and then we record for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. And then I'll go do the other 4 to 5 moves where it's still a couple compounds and then some accessory work in the afternoon. So I'm essentially doing 2-a-day lifts just because it's the only way that I can not be completely dead for multiple hours of the day.
I love this for you for so many reasons, namely because you love lifting.
Yeah.
Like you absolutely love lifting. And if there was one way to make you happier than doing 1 lift a day, it would be doing 2 lifts a day.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the perfect schedule for you out of all the different schedules you've tried and everything throughout your career. I feel like for right now in life, this is perfect. You get to wake up, get a nice little breakfast in, hit 2 heavy compounds, then get some work in. And then you go back to the gym for round 2, refreshed, ready to go. And then you get to hit it again. And it's like, I think that's the perfect schedule for you. And I think it's also nice because you deliberately plan it on days that we're going to also work and do a podcast or do a Q&A with the mentorship. You can join the mentorship link in the bio. Just going to be pushing it hard this episode.
I love it.
It's just so smart because it makes you feel really good, and you've gotten to a point where like you can decide what your schedule is going to be like after years and years and years and years of grinding and working for super long. It's like, cool, like now I'm going to split this workout up in whatever way suits me best, and also I'm going to fit it right in. And when you were here visiting in Dallas, we literally like split your workout up with a trip to Chick-fil-A, which was it was super fun. It's I love it. I think that it's cool to see, and I think this is one that you're going to be doing for a long time.
It's hard for me. There's a bit of cognitive dissonance, I think, around talking about it publicly, holding the position that this does not make sense for most people. It's unnecessary and it's impossible for most people's schedule. Holding that position and wanting to educate people on what works best for them while simultaneously holding the position that this is awesome for me. A couple episodes ago, we talked about how white collar jobs are essentially not the optimal way to live. You're in an office, you're under a fluorescent light, you're in deep hip flexion, just sitting all day, 9 hours, 5+ days a week, like hunched over like this, not good. We should have more movement and activity. And so doing 45 minutes in the morning and then doing an hour, and this is only 3 days a week, but doing an hour in the afternoon and having that opportunity, built into my schedule to move around more has me feeling really good.
Yeah. And I think for most people, it wouldn't work for many reasons. Like, number one, most people don't love lifting like you do in the world. Like, there's a small subset of the fitness industry that absolutely loves it, and that would be great. But even among the subset of people who love it, most don't have the freedom that you've built in order to make that schedule work. And if like the people who have kids and other extra responsibilities, like there's no way that they can make that work. So for right now, based on like your schedule and what you have, I mean, I think it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. You are on a similar schedule though, just not with lifting.
I put myself in the same box as you, in which like we've built this ability to really structure our life around the things that we most love, which is like amazing. Yeah. But I think 99.8% of people are not in that box.
Correct.
Yet. But if you're listening, you're on your way. You could be on your way.
You have the capacity to be on your way.
I don't care what age you are, what race you are, what sex you are. I don't care. Like, you can build it. You can absolutely build it. Like, now more than ever, more than any point in history, you can build this shit, which is just, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. We have the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It can work against you. You can sit and consume content all day, like I do very often, or you can use it to create and to reach new people and to build a business. Like, yep.
You didn't used to consume a lot though.
Correct.
Ever. You like
Correct.
Barely consumed for like 11 years.
Yeah. Well, maybe not 11, but for many, many years. But now Tim Cook, not even Tim Cook. I don't know who to pin this blame on. I'm trying to externalize it myself, is who I should place this blame on.
Who's Tim Cook?
The CEO of Apple.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hyper addictive vertical video. And just all of it. I need to start meditating again. That's what needs to happen.
Man.
I might smash my phone today.
Smash it?
Yeah.
Throw it at the wall?
No, I don't want to damage the wall. I'd go outside and throw it on my driveway if I really wanted to smash it.
That would be great for your neighbors. They'd call the police. Excuse me. My neighbor's having a mental breakdown.
I really do yearn for a time with less technology though.
Yeah. It's a give and take. There are pros and cons, right? Like, without it, I don't think we'd have the freedom that we have. But with it, there's also the question of like, do we even really have as much freedom as we think we have? Because we're like so addicted to it, so dependent on it. There is no privacy with it. It's just, yeah.
We're also we live in such a consumer culture that like, when you highlight the benefits, when you highlight the fact that it has allowed us to build a business on our own and have freedom on that front, we wouldn't even need that if we didn't inflate our lifestyles to a degree into that income.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this, I'm talking about you and me, but it's literally applies to so many more people. Anyway, we'll wrap it up here. That was a good way to finish. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.